Rolex is one of the most iconic brands in the watch industry. Over the years, the brand has introduced several models that have become timeless classics. One of the most famous and highly coveted models is the Rolex Submariner. The Submariner is a diver's watch that has been in production since 1953. It has evolved over the years and has become a symbol of luxury and style. Welcome to another episode of The Steady Ticker. Do you have a soft spot for watches? Subscribe now to The Steady Ticker and click the notification bell to keep posted on the latest news on different luxury watch brands and its industry. We create content on trivias, intricacies, history, and anything under the weather about luxury watch brands and their models. In this episode, we will explore the history of the Rolex Submariner, its features, and why it is such an iconic timepiece. The story of the Rolex Submariner begins in the early 1950s when Rolex was looking to expand its line of professional watches. At the time, the company was already known for producing high-quality timepieces that were durable and accurate, but it wanted to create a watch that was specifically designed for divers. Rolex's first attempt at a diver's watch was the Submariner, which was introduced in 1953. The watch was groundbreaking for its time, as it was the first watch to be water-resistant to a depth of 100 meters. It had a simple yet elegant design that was characterized by a black dial with luminescent hour markers and hands. The watch also had a rotating bezel with a 60-minute scale, which allowed divers to keep track of their underwater time. The first Submariner, known as the reference 6204, was an instant success, and Rolex quickly began refining and improving the design. In 1954, the company introduced the reference 6205, which featured a larger crown and a new movement. In 1955, the reference 6538 was introduced, which had a larger case and a big crown. This model was famously worn by Sean Connery in the first James Bond movie, Dr. No. The watch became so iconic that it was referred to as the James Bond Submariner. Over the years, Rolex continued to refine and improve the Submariner, introducing new features and technologies that made the watch even more functional and durable. In the 1960s, the company introduced the reference 5513, which had a more modern design and was produced for over 20 years. The watch had a black dial with white hour markers and hands, which made it easier to read in low-light conditions. In the 1970s, Rolex introduced the reference 1680, which was the first Submariner to feature a date function. The watch also had a new movement, the caliber 1575, which had a higher frequency than previous movements. The reference 1680 was produced until the mid-1980s, and it remains one of the most sought-after Submariners among collectors. In the 1980s and 1990s, Rolex introduced several new features to the Submariner, including sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel insert. These features made the watch even more durable and scratch-resistant, and they helped to cement the Submariner's reputation as one of the most reliable and high-quality dive watches on the market. Today, the Rolex Submariner is still in production, and it remains one of the most popular and highly coveted watches in the world. The watch has undergone several changes over the years, but it has remained true to its original design and purpose. It is still water-resistant to a depth of 300 meters, and it has a unidirectional rotating bezel and a screw-down crown and case back. Let's take a closer look at some of the key features of the Rolex Submariner. First and foremost, the Rolex Submariner is water-resistant to a depth of 300 meters or 1,000 feet. This makes it suitable for both professional and recreational diving. The watch has a screw-down crown and a case back, which help to ensure that it remains water-resistant even at great depths. The watch is also equipped with a unidirectional rotating bezel, which can be used to keep track of elapsed time during a dive. In addition to its water resistance, the Rolex Submariner has a number of other features that make it a reliable and a durable dive watch. The watch is equipped with a self-winding mechanical movement, which means that it is powered by the natural motion of your wrist rather than a battery. This eliminates the need for regular battery changes, which can be inconvenient and costly. The watch also has a scratch-resistant sapphire crystal, which helps to protect the dial from damage. The crystal was treated with a special anti-reflective coating, which makes it easy to read the time even in bright sunlight or underwater. The dial itself is simple and elegant, with luminescent hour markers and hands that are easy to read in low-light conditions. One of the most distinctive features of the Rolex Submariner is its bezel. The bezel is made of either aluminium or ceramic and is marked with a 60-minute scale. The bezel is unidirectional, which means that it can only be turned in one direction. This is an important safety feature for divers, as it helps to ensure that they do not accidentally overestimate their remaining dive time. Another notable feature of the Rolex Submariner is its bracelet. The bracelet is made of solid steel and gold and is designed to be both comfortable and secure. The bracelet is equipped with a folding clasp that can be adjusted to fit the wearer's wrist. The clasp also has a safety catch, which helps to ensure that the watch stays securely fastened. Finally, the Rolex Submariner is available in a number of different models and colors. The watch is typically made of stainless steel, but it's also available in gold or two-tone versions. The watch can be customized with different dial colors, bezel materials, and bracelet styles to suit the wearer's preferences. The Rolex Submariner's timeless design and iconic features have made it a favorite among watch enthusiasts and collectors for over 60 years. But its success has also inspired other watch brands to create their own versions of this classic timepiece. Over the years, numerous watch brands have attempted to replicate the Submariner's design, from its unidirectional rotating bezel to its luminescent hour markers and hands. Some brands have even gone so far as to create nearly identical copies of the Submariner, often referred to as homages. However, despite their efforts, these imitations have never quite captured the same level of prestige and craftsmanship as the original Submariner. Rolex's reputation for precision and reliability, combined with the unique design and features of the Submariner, have made it a watch that is truly in a league of its own. That being said, the Submariner's influence can be seen in countless other watches, from luxury divers to affordable sports watches. No matter how many imitators may come and go, the Rolex Submariner will always be a watch that stands the test of time. Given its rich history and exceptional features, we'll tell you more about why the Rolex Submariner is such an iconic timepiece. The Rolex Submariner is an iconic timepiece for several reasons. First and foremost, it is a highly functional watch that was designed specifically for divers. The watch is highly water resistant and has several features that make it easy to use underwater. The watch also has been worn by several famous individuals over the years, including Sean Connery in the James Bond movies and Steve McQueen. The Submariner is also an iconic timepiece because of its classic design. The watch has a timeless look that has remained largely unchanged over the years. The watch is highly recognizable with its round case and Cyclops lens magnifying the date display at 3 o'clock. The dial is clean and simple, with luminescent hour markers and hands that are easy to read in any lighting condition. The unidirectional rotating bezel, with its 60-minute scale, is also a defining characteristic of the Submariner's design. But what truly makes the Submariner iconic is its versatility. It is a watch that can be worn in any setting, whether you're going diving or attending a formal event. The watch's understated design makes it the perfect accessory for any outfit, and its durable construction means that it can withstand almost anything you throw at it. Over the years, the Submariner has been updated with new features and materials, but the classic design has remained largely unchanged. This has helped to cement its status as one of the most recognizable and desirable watches in the world. The Rolex Submariner is an iconic timepiece for several reasons. Its classic design, reliable features, and versatility have made it a favorite of watch enthusiasts and collectors for over 60 years. Whether you're a professional diver or simply appreciate fine craftsmanship, the Submariner is a watch that is sure to impress. Now that you know all about the Rolex Submariner, we want to hear your thoughts. Share with us in the comments below what else makes the Rolex Submariner an iconic timepiece. Want to hear more about watches? Hit the subscribe button below to support the Steady Ticker channel, and click the notification bell to instantly know about our new videos on luxury watches. See you in the next one.